And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, but you already knew that because we're talking about the game Medium and you're inside my mind. Hey, so last year a card game came out called The Mind. Very popular game where people were trying to play cards in a numerical order without communication. Well, Medium kind of picks up on that idea. In this game, you and someone else are trying to say the same word without any communication at all. That's pretty much the game in essence. Here's how it plays. So the cards are divided into different sets here, and you have dividers then to show the different sets. And you're going to take sets equal to one less than the number of players and mix them together. So this, you can see, is from set 1, and I got stuff from set 2, and each set just has a word on both sides. And you're going to be shuffling these together to play the game. 3 crystal balls are shuffled into the bottom third of the deck, and as these show up, the crystal ball is shattering. When all 3 show up, the game is going to be over. Each player is going to get 6 cards, and you're going to be taking turns around the table, and on your turn, you're partnered with the person to your left. Once everyone has gone, then you'll partner with the person to your right, and you're playing together as a team. So when you partner with the person, they're going to pick a card and put it in front. So here we have chalk. Then I'm going to look at the cards in my hand, and I'm going to pick the word ant. So what we are both trying to do now is we're going to both be trying to pick a word that somehow is the medium between these words. It could be something that both words have in common, something that's between the words. We're just trying to come up with a word. It doesn't even have to be a word. It could be like a quick phrase. It could be a proper noun. There's no Scrabble rules here. So what I can do here is I can play this with you. So what you do is you say, okay, you ready? The other person says ready. And then you'll count down 3, 2, 1 and say the word. So let's try it here. Ready? 3, 2, 1, sidewalk. Now maybe you said sidewalk because I think on the sidewalk my kids draw with chalk on the sidewalk, and on the sidewalk I always see ants scurrying back and forth. But maybe you didn't say sidewalk. Maybe you said hill. I don't know why you would say hill for chalk, but let's say you said the word hill. So instead of chalk and ant now, we have sidewalk and we have hill. And so we're going to use those 2 words. And you can't say chalk or ant for this, so sidewalk and hill. And then we count down again, 3, 2, 1, walking. And you say walk. I'm like, okay, that's pretty much the same thing. We're fine, and we score. If that didn't work, if we said 2 different words again, we would take those 2 words and try to come up with some combination. If you can't do it on those 2 words, you get nothing. So if you do it the very first time, you're going to take one of these chips that's marked as a number 1, and they're worth 5 or 6 points. If you do it on the second time through, you'll draw one of these chips, which is worth 3 and 4, and the third pair, you guessed it, are going to be worth 2 or 1 points. You'll put those chips between you and your partner. You have scored these together. And so after the crystal ball has gone around, you're going to add up your scores, and whoever has the highest score is the winner. A couple of other things can be included with the game. You can also play with just the person who's across from you. You can also play with these psychic link cards here. And if you can use these as the game goes by, trying to get points, you can have a clear mind or a psychic link. And if you use it, you flip it over to show you've used it. If you don't use it, you get 2 points. So here you can discard cards from your hand, draw back up to 6. Psychic link, you can join in with somebody else's, 2 people, and you try to go together. And if it's successful, you also will get a token for that group. So it could be a whole lot of points, possibly. And then there's a few other rules that are all mentioned in the rule book that you can do to change things up. Everything fits fine inside the box. Like I said, there's dividers for the different cards to keep the card numbers separated. You have these tokens, which are fine. The cards themselves, the words, they did a good job. They picked a varied group of words. I find it pretty easy to tell the difference between these words. So, yeah, the component quality, the cards are decent quality, but again, there's a ton of them, so that's fine for the purposes of this game. The components are fine. So my rating here for medium is very similar to my thoughts on the Mind, actually, where I find it a very amusing activity. As a game, it's fine, but I don't care. I think the game in the box was built almost as a framework for the activity. And this is the way I feel about several party games. Like, the medium is a game where you sit there and let's just play it for a while. The points don't matter, in a sense. And in fact, in this game, the points are one of the negative things. Why are they 5 or 6 or 3 and 4, 1 or 2? Why not just have them be 5, 3, 1? Why is there that randomness involved in there? It just feels like they added this extra level of randomness for almost no reason. I guess it's to keep the scores where you're not quite sure how much everyone has. I don't know. That just seemed to be a pointless thing. Another pointless thing, a solution in search of a problem, was these sets of cards. Why not just have one big deck of cards? You say, but yes, Tom, this way it ensures that there's a nice mix of cards. Sure, but is that worth the separation of them into these different sets here and then mixing? I'd rather just be one big deck of cards. It doesn't really matter in the long run. Sure, I get a bunch of ones that are similar or different. You're mixing decks together anyway. I don't know. I just felt like they almost were trying to be too serious about what is essentially a party game. Taking those things away, very enjoyable experience. Now, here's the thing. When you first play medium, it's one of those games that when you first play it, you're not as good at it. But as time goes by, you'll find that you are slowly but surely into other people's minds. And you're there. You're like, we're working. I don't know how to explain it. It just works after a while. And it's very entertaining. And there's going to certainly be those arguments like, that was obviously the word. And you didn't say the word for that. I put side down on the thing and run. And obviously the word is walk, sidewalk, and run and walk. How could you miss that? And the other person said, well, I thought it was this. And I find that to be amusing. And what's cool about the game is, even if you don't get it on the first try, sometimes those two words that you say, finding a medium between them can be even harder, or sometimes a lot easier. And I found that as you go through, a lot of times people get better and better, and you'll find that you maybe do have a psychic connection with somebody. And for that, this is a great party game. This is great to bring out. People are going to have a blast at it, to the point, again, where I think they'll just forget the game. Let's just play it with other people and see. I'll just put a card out and do it. It's kind of like, hey, we got 10 minutes to blow. Let's pull these out, and let's just see if we can do it. Guess back and forth and get it within 3 guesses. And in that instance, I think this is fantastic. The actual game and framework in here, whatever. But the activity behind it, the medium behind it, that's pretty neat. Dice Tower Judgment, approved!
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower.